Today's What If episode goes back to an earlier discussion I had in the form of items. While Grani and Behemoth were earlier concepts I had of items, today's discussion looks more at the crests that the individual Digidestined had. Also a huge shout out to Eric Edlund, also known as American Bash, and one of your judges from last year's Nationals, who helped me balance these effects and costs. While Courage and Friendship will appear in the newest starter decks, the other crests will also make their appearances as well in BT14 and BT15. And honestly, it's about damn time. I won't go over these effects quite yet because these will be reserved for future set review videos. But what would I have loved to see for crests? Let's talk about some stupid but funny concept cards. Generally speaking, I combined a lot of elements from previous cards into these option cards. Number 1. Each of these option cards are tailored towards the base colors of their original Digidestined. Meaning if the card is the Crest of Courage, it's going to look for Agumon, Greymon, Omnimon, and Taikamiya cards. If the Digivolution doesn't have something convenient in the name, Digimon like Biyomon and Palmon will look for a specific trait Digimon instead. Number 2. Elements of memory boost and training option cards have also been incorporated, but at the same time, removed. Instead of gaining memory or reducing memory for your next Digivolution, I offer extremely powerful effects. But with great power comes great responsibility. At the end of the turn in which you use these effects, the Digivolution source is trashed. And of course, if it's hit in security, this type of option card just plays itself onto the battlefield, to be used in the future. Outside of these three conditions, let's look at some silly conceptual cards. Starting off, I introduced the Crest of Courage. This option card can find a card like Agumon, Greymon, Omnimon, or Taikamiya in its name off the top 2 cards. Like I mentioned, I'm taking elements of the training option cards. However, there's no memory return or Digivolution cost reduction with these option cards. Nope, I did something very different. Delay. Place this card under one of your Digimon with Metal Greymon or War Greymon in its name. This severely restricts what Digimon you can put it under. When you do this, this delay also makes it so that at the end of your turn, the crest itself is trashed from the Digimon's Digivolution sources. Now assuming you've met all the conditions, your Metal Greymon or War Greymons now gain a new inheritable. This inheritable gives you your typical BT1 War Greymon effect, off preventing the effects of option cards from happening. However, if you have Taikamiya in play, this soups up the effect by preventing the security effects of all cards in the security from activating. Security Digimon? No more. In a sense of courage, you have nothing to fear. End of turn though, you'll lose the effect. But hey, for a one-turn use, very powerful. Now that I've set the tone of what to expect for crests, let's dive straight into the other crest from Digimon Adventure 1. Through the Crest of Love, Sora and Biyomon get some long overdue effects. With this crest, you can search for a Digimon with Bird or Avian in its traits, or a Tamer with Sora Takenouchi in its name off the top 2 cards. Delay. Place this card under a Digimon with Garudamon or Phoenixmon in its name, and it gains Trash the Crest of Love at the end of your turn. When attacking, if you have a suspended red Tamer, trash the top card of your opponent's security. If you have Sora Takenouchi in play, you may suspend a red Tamer to unsuspend this Digimon. Note that this card is not once per turn, meaning you could potentially do this if you have multiple Soras in play. And with BT15 offering the first real good Sora Takenouchi, you'll whiff if you plan on running Akiho Rindo as well. In a way, everything with Sora and Biyomon always involve the two together, and with her presence, she'll always be stronger. Which is why this effect isn't once per turn, but it would require you to run potentially even the BT2 Sora Takenouchi, which, let's be real, isn't that great of a card. Moving to Matt Ishida and the Crest of Friendship, this card can find Gabumon, Garurumon, Omnimon, or Matt Ishida named cards, but when you delay, it provides the blanket protection from your opponent's card effects on your turn. Even better, if Matt Ishida is in play, you gain that protection through your opponent's turn. Matt's unity with Gabumon will always protect his friend. But enough of Matt. It's time to look at Joe's Crest of Reliability. With this card, you can find any of Gomamon's evolution cards or Joe Kido off the top 2. While you can only tuck this under Zudomon, Plesiomon, and Vikemon, the inheritable it provides is a when attacking effect that locks all your opponent's Digimon with equal or less sources from suspending. But with Joe in play, he can reliably find you more pieces or even another copy by drawing one card for each Digimon your opponent controls with less than or equal to sources. And while this concludes all the blue options, yellow has a lot of fun concepts as well. With the Crest of Hope, this option adds TK Takashi or any Digimon with Angel in its traits to your hand. While generic, you can only slot this card under Magna Angemon and Seraphimon. With its inheritable effect, when attacking, you may reveal one card and place it on top of your security. This 100% lets you manipulate the topmost card of your security. With the presence of TK on the battlefield, the effect extends to protecting your security from card effects. No DP reduction, no trashing security, nothing. So if your opponent wants to eat whatever card you put on top, be my guest. Kari's Crest of Light adds a few new twists to her entire Digivolution line. While you can find a Digimon with Angel or Holy in its traits and Kari herself, this does eliminate the possibility of adding Salamon. That aside, the inheritable for this option card when you delay and place it under Angelmon, Magnadramon, or Ophanimon lets you trash the top card of your opponent's security if your opponent has a Digimon with security attack. That effect could be applied from even your own effects. But if Kari Kamiya is in play, you also get to recover 1. But now, to everyone's favorite green Digimon, Palmon and Tentomon. With Palmon, the Crest of Sincerity offers a simple search for Mimi Tachikawa or a Digimon with plant, vegetation, or fairy in its traits off the top 2 cards. And like most Rosemon effects, this one comes with a when attacking effect that suspends one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and prevents it from unsuspending next turn. However, with the inclusion of Mimi herself, this extends to the entire board, which can buy you a turn if you really need it. While not crazy like the other Digimon, I do think that at some point, Rosemon will have more built-in protection such as the likes of Greymon and Garurumon decks. But the last and final crest is the Crest of Knowledge. While Izzy and Tentomon have had very low support, this dynamic duo is arguably my second favorite pair of the original Digidestined in Adventure 1. With the Crest of Knowledge, this option card can add an Insectoid Digimon or a Tamer with Izzy Azumi in its name to your hand. While you could use 2 memory to search for even other Insectoid Digimon like Grandis Kuwagamon, you can only delay tuck this card under Mega Kabuterimon or Hercules Kabuterimon. When attacking, you may reveal the top card of your security to your opponent. Knowledge is power. By doing so, you can reveal your opponent's top security and keep that card on top of security, or ship it to the bottom. With the presence of Izzy Azumi, you get to use this effect again. While not crazy powerful, Hercules Kabuterimon typically has some form of piercing, or even in Mega Kabuterimon's case, an inheritable that trashes security. With this in mind, you get to choose what may or may not get trashed, or you can just safely run over it. In conclusion, the pros of these option cards are they are very cheap and can search for generic pieces for these specific archetypes. But when it comes to utilizing the amazing delay effects, you must trigger delay and also place it underneath a specific level and named Digimon. And again, while powerful, these effects are one-time use before they get trashed from the Digivolution sources. If Bandai were to implement something like this, would you be excited to add cards like this to your deck? Let me know in the comments below, as I start looking into other concepts from the Digimon series. This is DigiPanda, logging out.